side. Stars versus Samp Army.
And welcome to TCL's first ever T10 tournament. We are here at Church Street Park late night under the lights. It's a beautiful sight to see. Again, a T10 tournament, trying something new here in TCL. And we have Samp Army taking on the Stars. Samp Army won the toss and they elected to bowl first, saying the Stars out to bat. So right now in the middle, Munna Hussein and Jaskran Halotra. Score reads 6 without loss and an over and a half. So we had a game earlier today, unable to be live streamed. This one we are getting to you under the Church Street Park once again in a T10 tournament. So it's going to be an interesting mix now. These players not really accustomed to the format. Adjusting from maybe T20 or 40 over cricket, now having to play in a T10. I think some players are going to get caught in the mix of trying to go a little bit too big, a little bit too soon. I think around 70 to 80 runs seems to be a pretty decent score. That was what was defended in the first match. 79 was what was defended. And right now, if you can just sneak a boundary every over, you'll feel very good for the Stars. And so joining me in the commentary box, we got Mr. Swithin Srinivas. Swithin, what are you thinking about today's T10 matchup?
Thank you, Aman, for bringing me in. It's such a pleasure to see the crowd here for a local game. This is what a lot of our people in the local league, TCL, envisioned a couple of years ago. And to see it happen and to see the parking lot filled up with no spots open is unbelievable. Coming to the game, it's a brilliant encounter between two very, very strongly poised teams. Samp Army against Stars. A lot of stars actually in both the teams. Not too sure who won the toss. Maybe you can update me on that, but it's brilliant to see Jaskaran Malhotra opening the batting for Stars, and with him the very old Munna Hussain.
Yeah, so like I told the audience earlier, the Samp Army had won the toss and they elected to bowl first. So again, I think a lot of people are still getting accustomed to playing some T10 cricket, not a style of cricket that many of us are accustomed to playing or viewing. So I think, you know, we're going to see some interesting tactics from both sides, things that we aren't used to. I think around 70, 80 runs is a target that is more than defendable, especially on this type of big ground where all the big shots aren't going to go away for 6. You really have to get onto the delivery. I think that if you're the Stars, don't try to rush yourselves. I think just one boundary every over is more than good enough to get you to 70, 80 runs.
Absolutely. So somebody was just asking me, is this game all about batting and power hitting and all that, because it's a shorter format, probably the shortest format that we've ever played. I was just telling that in my opinion it was a side that's going to field well, that's going to really win. Yes, there will be superstars who are going to comfortably clear the boundaries every now and then, but with most games happening in such a big outfield, it might probably be a case of the team fielding well, holding on to catches, because you know that everybody's going to go after big hits, and if the team fields well, they're going to be winning this.
And the playing 11 for the Stars, of course, you see Jaskaran Malhotra in the middle, Hasham Malik, Kiran Sarvakumar, Samir Lodi, Siraj Khan, Danish Khan, Saad Khan, Nilesh Patil, who is the captain for today, Anirudh Bolasetti, Kirk Thompson, and Saharsh Swithin. So I know we got a little bit of bias in the comm box with Swithin, always going to support his son. But then you go and look at the other 11 for Samp Army. I'll let Swithin read those out to you.
We have Abdul Hamid, Varun Papuri, John Vijay, Sarnam Patel, Akshay Patel, Ashish Jain, Akash Joshi, Kirti Thakkar, Ritesh Patel, Prince Patel, Prit Patel, and Shikhar Marwa. So two really strong teams. A couple of players from either sides playing minor league cricket, and they have played on this very ground on a few occasions. So it's going to be a good matchup.
Absolutely going to be a good matchup. And again, Jaskaran Malhotra are going to be the prize wicket for Samp Army. They're going to want to contain him. He's the danger man right now, as you see Munna Hussain, who is in the middle. I know it says Hasham on your sheet, but it is Munna Hussain in the middle alongside with them. You know that's the wicket they're all searching for.
I'm super excited about how teams are going to strategize this. People thought in 10 balls Jaskaran would be about 40-50, but he's on 7. He's just playing himself in. And that goes to show that it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter what kind of player you are and who you're playing against. You still might want to be very careful about how you start your innings, and then go about the business, re-strategize as needed. Score moves on to 14 in 2.2 overs. Varun Papuri is the bowler. He usually plays for Cheetahs in the local league. And it's also amazing that we have our first ever auction-based cricket league, and the big thing is we have a prize money for the first time as well for the winners. And Babar just told me in the afternoon that we're also going to have some prize money for man of the matches. How exciting is that, Aman?
Yeah, just another incentive for these guys to win. It's a very competitive competition in general, but to have that extra incentive to go out there and perform. And just to address your earlier point of how, Jaskran, a lot of people thought after 10 deliveries would be on maybe on 40. I think he's a very smart cricketer. He understands that this game is going to come down to, okay, who's going to hold the most wickets and who can go in at the end. Can you just continue to rotate? And I think that's the key for these sides. Again, who's going to rotate the most, and then can you score that odd boundary? I don't think this game is going to deal in a lot of boundaries. You see a lofted shot over the top, and it might run away for 4, and I think it has. So Munna Hussain gets the scoring going for the Stars with that 4 over cover.
Munna Hussain playing the way he knows, and he plays that really well. Anything, any width on offer, he just throws his bat. It really took a top edge and flew past the backward point fielder to his left, and it reached the fence as it usually does.
Yeah, there's going to be some dew on the wicket under the light, so the ball's going to come onto the bat, and Munna likes the pace on. Anything wide, he's going to throw his hands at. He scored a wild 50 against Royals in the PL format. Was able to do that in just 30-odd deliveries. So anything with pace on, he's going to put away. If it's wide with pace, he's going to score. And there's the key there, that odd single that he takes.
Yeah, and anything Munna does is actually wild always. So like that part.
Whether it's the ground managing or batting or bowling, it's all going to be wild. You're going to get some entertainment when Munna's out there.
I'm super excited for this. I can say time and again. Under lights. It's an October evening. We have these grounds available to conduct games until the end of the month, and we're targeting to hold a lot more games next week. These guys are actually bowling pretty well, keeping Jaskaran actually quiet. I don't even think he's hit a boundary yet. 12 balls, which is more than 10% of the actual game. 8 runs, but he can change all this in a matter of 3 or 4 deliveries. He can hit at will. He's just coming off a brilliant 173 from Oman. He's been nominated for the Player of the Week by ICC.
Yeah, Player of the Month for ICC in September.
Player of the Month, sorry for that.
Yeah, and we know he can turn the key, but Varun, if he can keep this line, but that's what we're talking about, turning the key. Shot over the top. Owen is taken out in the deep, and Jaskran walks away, looking to go big. I think Varun took some pace off, didn't give it on to him, and Jaskran walks for a low score. So Samp Army get the prize wicket of Jaskran Malhotra.
What a testimony is that catch for my comment about the team that fields well may have a better chance of doing well in this tournament. Jaskaran Malhotra, we were just talking about his 173. Commentator's curse, gets his wicket, taking no credit away from Varun Papuri and the catcher.
Yeah, and if you're going to drop Jaskaran at any level, you're going to struggle if you're going to drop Jaskaran. So for that catch to be taken, it's a huge catch out in the deep. Varun Papuri has to be thrilled. 1 over 7 runs in a wicket. You couldn't ask for a better start from Varun, from your opening bowler, and it's just a perfect start for the Samp Army right now.
Absolutely. I remember the auctions. I was present that day, and the Samp Army was kind of hell-bent on picking Varun Papuri. Maybe they knew a couple of things that we haven't observed, and he has lived up to that value that he was picked for, hasn't he? A brilliant wicket.
Absolutely has lived up to that value. 3 overs in, 20 runs for the loss of 1 wicket, and that 1 wicket being Jaskran Malhotra. But now Siraj Khan, another very talented cricketer, makes his way onto the crease. We'll be saying that all night long because this Stars batting attack is loaded with star-studded talent.
Siraj Khan, if only teams had points, a lot more points than what we had offered them for the auctions, the auction would still be in progress for him.
It definitely would be, because this guy was a hefty item to bid on. And you know that the Stars getting him, that was a priority for those guys, and this is going to be why they're going to want him to fill in that Jaskran spot now alongside Munna.
Another big match player, big player, one of the very best from the Triangle Cricket League, Siraj Khan.
So it'll be interesting to see how they use their bowlers now to the Samp Army. They've used Prince Patel, they've used Preet Patel, and Varun Papuri. So 3 different bowlers in 3 different overs. Do they go with the 4th new bowler, or do they go back to Prince Patel? And it looks like they're going to go with the 4th bowler. Akash Joshi comes in to bowl.
A very spirited cricketer, Akash Joshi. I remember seeing him in a few local games, and also very noticeably in the minor league games that were played. He never gave up. It didn't matter how far behind they were on the game. Munna tries to take a huge heave at that one. A reminder that the power play is now completed, but he just plays one way, his own power play.
Yeah, it's just power play when you play with Munna. He's going to go big over the top. He only knows one way, like you said. But Akash Joshi is smart as well. And he's just bowling into the block hole. It is going to be pushed out into deep cover, but just for a single. But now we're going to get to see Siraj Khan on strike. So how does the tactic change from Akash Joshi?
I do believe that the Samp Army now has a little bit of an upper hand in this game. Siraj Khan new at the crease. May take some time to get settled in while Munna is trying to score big. Gotta wait and see. A nice.
Well, straight away he's gonna get a single, and it might be run away for 4. And he's timed it beautifully, and that has run away for 4. Yes, it has. So straight away, that's gonna be 4 runs for Siraj Khan. So we were talking about maybe getting in settled. It wasn't an outrageous shot, just a nicely timed shot through the covers, and it gets him 4 runs straight away.
A beautiful exhibition of how to score runs on an outfield like this. Pick your gaps, time the ball well. You don't have to necessarily try and hit them so powerfully, but place it, get the timing right, you'll get value for those. Wonderful beginning of Siraj Khan's innings here.
And then another smart play from him as well, just rotating around, getting the single, and he's pushing Munna for 2. I think if you've batted alongside Munna, you know he probably isn't coming back for that second run unless it's glaringly obvious, and he elects not to come back for the second. So I think it's a smart start for Siraj. I think when you look at the way he come in, just 1, he just worked through the covers for 4, and now just working away for a single. I just think it shows experience on the part of him.
Oh, that was too full, and the finger goes up. Munna was a little early into the shot. The ball was a little slower than he anticipated. Captures him right in front of the stumps, and the umpire had absolutely no hesitation in putting his finger up.
Yeah, that was clear, full, straight, right on his foot, and he's definitely gone. So that's going to be the second wicket down. So after being hit for 4 runs, 5 runs in the last 2 deliveries, Akash Joshi now, he gets the wicket of Munna Hussain. But it might be a blessing in disguise for the Stars, as this game I think is all going to be about the running and just not keeping dot balls in yourself. So if you can limit the number of dot balls you play in this kind of format, you obviously are going to make sure that you are in a prideful position. You are in the best position to go and win the game. And now the captain walks in, Nilesh Patil. He comes in to replace Munna Hussain.
The best part about this particular moment, Aman, is that there are no advertisements and we can keep talking.
That is, yeah, for those of you who are not aware of that reference throughout the minor league, there's definitely ads running through, so it's definitely an adjustment period for us. We're 2 guys who just love to talk, and that's why we have the mics in our hands. So being able to do this and talk while the airplane's running, wickets falling, overs are up, no matter. 4 overs gone, 26 for 2, and I can say that in the middle of this because there are no ads running through. So it is definitely glad to be back to this format.
Quick reminder, a couple of quick reminders to all the people who are watching. Please share this information with all your friends and families. Watch these games live on the Facebook page, Triangle Cricket League, and also on YouTube. Go to Triangle Cricket League's YouTube channel, and you can watch these guys play.
And you can hear these guys talk as well. So if you can't make it out here live, you can go out here, come to the YouTube channel, watch some great cricket, and hear some great voices behind the mic.
Looks like we're just filling those advertisement slots, advertising for our own selves.
Definitely are. Siraj goes and takes a single. So now we're going to get to see our... Oh, no, there's 2. So that we were talking about with Munna, probably just a single. But now you get Nilesh Patil in. He's going to be eager to run around. And
oh, this is absolutely ridiculous right now out there. After having picked up a couple of wickets, important ones, you want to be putting more pressure on the 2 new batters, but instead they gave away 2 easy runs and almost another one. So the second reminder I wanted to talk about was the game that got finished prior to this one. The Assassins took on the Emperors, the Ultimate Emperors. The Ultimate Emperors batted first and put on about 80 runs. It proved to be good enough to win the game for the Emperors. Wasn't a very tight chase. It ended up with the Assassins needing 17 or 18 of the last over, which they came short of. So the tournament opener ended with the Ultimate Emperors as the winners.
Yeah, they ended up winning that one. And again, like we said, 70 to 80 runs seems to be a score you can defend on this ground. So if you're the Stars, that's what you're looking at, as that one's just going to be worked away for one. And yeah, they're just going to push for one. But now we're going to get to see the skipper, Nilesh Patil. He's going to be able to get onto the crease and bat. He's a big hitting player. But on this type of ground, maybe more stroke play is the way to go. You saw how Siraj opened and how he's continued to go. He looks like he's just going to rotate and try to give Nilesh as much strike and let him be the free-throwing player that he is.
Yeah, again, 2 wickets down. Run rate is pretty decent. The Stars do have a lot of players who can hit big, who can make up for the runs that they're not scoring right now. So Abdul Hamid is a slow bowler. You need a lot of footwork to play him and power to hit him out of the park.
Nilesh Patil is someone who has a lot of power. You stand next to him, he's a big man. Big man, that one's going to be pushed along the ground. I think it's just going to be a single, but again, a lot of power for him. So that's not something he lacks, and maybe why Siraj is eager to go and give him so much strike.
There was a full toss, but what worked in Abdul's favor was it was low, and it was also wide outside the off stump. Obviously, Nilesh could not get under that one. He hit it really hard, I can tell you. It almost went to the boundary. Oh, Siraj Khan dancing down the track, and the bowler beautifully pulling the length back. Still adjusts Siraj Khan, cuts it away for a couple of runs.
Yeah, I think, you got to hand it off to Abdul for eyeing the footwork early, saw him early, so just pushed it outside, didn't give him anything right under the bat. So I think, again, that's what this game's all about. The batsmen are going to have to be innovative, but as a bowler, you have to understand these batsmen are going to try to do something different. Let me watch, let me understand, and let me see what I can do differently to just throw them off their game that slight bit and create a wicket. That did earn the Stars 2 runs, but I think for Abdul, you'd rather take 2 than the boundary that was coming if he was able to get onto that one.
And not having given a boundary is a big advantage. I mean, he did give a boundary of the second ball, but no big shots, big sixes have come off this over yet. So he's doing a fair job. If you can keep them to 10, 11 runs per over. Oh, and then another edge there, educated rather, gets Siraj Khan a couple more runs. The over ends with 12 runs being added to the Stars total.
At 38 for the loss of 2 after 5 are the Stars. And, it's been a pretty decent start for the Samp Army. I mean, you wouldn't complain about this. And also for the Stars, you're going to be looking at, 72 is what you're looking at. So you're in a pretty balanced position right now. I don't think you can say, okay, the Stars have an advantage or Samp Army have an advantage. Again, 70 to 80 runs is definitely very defendable.
It really depends on how the Samp Army fielders out there think from this point onwards. They should be mentally very, very strong at this point and happy that they've not only got Jaskaran out, they've got him out pretty early in the innings. So they should be using that momentum into their innings. They have bowled 5 overs, which is halfway. 38 is not a big score, one would say.
Yeah, but again, I think it's just the way this game is played. I just think a lot of people are expecting scores to be upwards of 100. I just don't know if we're going to see that on this ground. I think it's just a little bit too big. I don't think the boundaries are going to be flowing as people may have thought. And I think we're going to see maybe some more lower scores because people are going to try to force the issue with the mindset of, okay, we got to get to 100. I think 70 to 80 is a very good score for this format and for this ground.
Yeah, and also this pitch is not a brand new pitch or anything of that sort. It's been used for a few days for minor league cricket. The games that were played here on Saturday and Sunday, huge finals for the 2 conferences and the mega finals, between the winner of the Atlantic Conference and the Pacific Conference. They were all played on this very pitch. And then there was a game that was played prior to this afternoon. The pitch hasn't been rolled after that game. So it's probably going to be a little slower. It's not going to be so easy for you to hit those big sixes as one might have expected given the format. It's not happening until now.
Yeah, it's not happening till now, but Nilesh Patil's in here to try and change that. But like you said, not going to be a lot of pace. There is going to be some dew on the pitch that allows it to be a little bit quicker, but as you mentioned, not rolled. Pitch has been used for a couple of days. I think that's definitely going to play an impact as you see Preet Patel coming in for his second over.
Beautifully driven through cover, but straight to the fielder at 30. allows Nilesh Patil to pick up a single and have Siraj Khan brought on to strike.
And this is where you want Siraj Khan to be, right? With a bowler who has a little bit more pace on him. He is a great, he uses his wrist tremendously. So if he can get some pace on the ball, just kind of use the pace of it and just use his wrist. When he brings out the flick shot, it is one of the best flick shots I think you'll have ever seen. And with pace, becomes easier. And that one's hit straight back. The fielder does get around to it. So like Swithin was saying, the team that feels the best probably has the best opportunity to win. And it looks like Samp Army have come in with that kind of motive.
Yet another low full toss, so not easy to get under and hit it over the infield or even hit it over the ground. So hit straight, hard, but the fielder comes around and keeps it to 1.
And just to 1, and it's been a good overs for Preet so far. Again, as long as you're not giving up any boundaries, you feel pretty good. That one down the leg side, just worked through the leg side. But again, the fielder coming around, they're going to make it 2 runs there. But again, the fielding from Samp Army has been in good spots. I think the captain has done well in putting the fielders where they're supposed to be. I think he understands where these 2 batsmen want to play.
Absolutely. You need great arm from the outfield. Abdul Hamid not having such a quick or a fast arm. Nilesh Patil taking advantage of that and coming back for the 2nd run.
And these players know each other, right? An auction style that we haven't really seen in this league. Now players who may have been on the same team, now they're playing against each other. And now you allow that for, okay, I know your tactics, you know mine, and I know your strengths, I know your weaknesses, and I can go and take advantage of that. And that's what this auction style allows, and that's a huge shot from Nilesh Patil. Is it going to clear?
Dropped at long on, was straight under him. He had to come a few yards inside to grab that one, and the fielder making a mess of that one. How brilliant it would have been to take that catch.
It would have been a huge wicket had he taken that catch. The skipper goes, they would have gotten Jaskran out cheaply, they would have gotten Nilesh out for just 1 run, and now you allowed this one to go for a boundary, you allow this one to be a drop, and now Nilesh Patil gets a life. You can't give Nilesh Patil a life.
Looks like the stars are aligning.
Definitely are here in this night sky, and here at Church Street Park under the lights. And everything seems to be going for the Stars right now. Their skipper just gets dropped, and that's going to end 6 overs, 45 for the loss of 2 now at the end of 6.
And Nilesh Patil also happens to be the captain. It would have been absolutely brilliant for Samp Army to have Jaskaran, Munna and Nilesh Patil not for big scores.
And I spoke a little bit too soon. That was not the last ball of the over. Here comes the final delivery of the over. And it is just going to be played away for a single. So my prediction, it was a prediction. It wasn't a guess. It was a prediction. That's what ended up happening. So 45 for the loss of 2 at the end of 6. You're going to get a decent run rate right now with the Stars. They got to be happy. They got their skipper to get dropped. Now you feel pretty good. Now there's a platform for you to take off. Look at these lovely images brought to you by, we'll get to that in a second, but you can see the scorecard for the Stars. Got 8 runs for Jaskran, 9 for Munna. I know it says Hasham on your screen, but it is Munna. 18 not out for Siraj, and 6 not out for Nilesh. Was almost out, but was dropped.
That's the kind of player Siraj Khan is. You kind of don't know how he's scoring, but you always see that he scored runs.
Absolutely, and for the bowling, the Samp Army, you can't be too upset about what you've done so far. Your most expensive bowler was Abdul Hamid, who went for 12, but Akash Joshi gets a wicket in his only over. Varun Papuri gets the wicket of Jaskar Malhotra in his only over. Preet Patel has not taken a wicket, but only an economy of 7.5, and then Prince Patel an economy of 3, so you're going to see them come back for their second overs. Again, only 2 overs. You got to strategically play them out, and you see these the sites of Church Street Park, one of the best places to play cricket in the entirety of the U.S. and under the lights. I don't think anything beats it here in the United States.
These pictures coming live to you courtesy our drone Acharya.
And we are so thankful to have this drone out here. And just again, look at this. I don't think it gets much better than this. Under the lights, you see the grass, you see everything flowing, and it just looks beautiful. And it's just a treat to have this ground here in North Carolina.
I can tell you, if you're a cricketer and if you're living in Morrisville, North Carolina, oh, just as I was going to talk about something, Nilesh Patil gets cleaned up. The first ball of his second over, Akash Joshi. That's a huge wicket. Yes, Patil was dropped a couple of deliveries ago at long on, but doesn't do any damage. after that. 3 down stars for 45.
Yeah, how about that? It looks like the luck is in the favor of the Samp Army. They get a drop. Well, Akash Joshi says, no worries, I'm going to get him out. Only costs you, that drop only costs you 5 runs there. So they're going to take that all day long. But what a huge wicket for Akash Joshi. They bring him back in for the second over. They know he's going to take pace off. They know Nilesh wants to go big with 5 overs to go. And boom, bada bing, bada boom. Akash Joshi gets his second wicket, and what figures are this? 6 runs, 2 wickets, and 1.1 overs. It's been a perfect start for Akash Joshi. Let's see if he can keep it coming. The new man in the middle is Samir Lodi, another free-flowing batsman, but they got to go and rotate now. Again, dot balls are the key thing that the Samp Army need.
Yeah, the batting just seems to be coming for the Stars. You know, Samir Lodi, another brilliant batsman. I've seen him hit some huge sixes over covers, and if you can hit through the covers, if you can clear the cover boundary comfortably like he usually does, you are a good batsman.
Yeah, class is class, and Samir Lodi has plenty of class. Like you said, the cover shots that he hits, it rivals any that you've ever seen. It is so pure as this delivery comes into Siraj. And again, Siraj has actually been very smart about it. Usually a guy who wants to play some bigger shots, but he's just been moving it around, letting the runs flow, and then not building up pressure. But you can see maybe a little bit frustrated, hits himself in the pad. Maybe he wants to start gutting a little bit bigger now.
If you're the fans of the Stars team now, you don't want them to lose another wicket. Oh, that's a full leg delivery. Trying to go across the line there, Samir, missing it completely. And how lucky was he? That ball was actually angling down the leg side. From what we see here, from what we could gather from the umpire signal.
Yeah, it was very, very close. It was full, it was straight. There was some movement away, and it did go down the leg side. So surviving there, Samir Lodi. And now Siraj Khan trying to take matters in his own hand, goes straight down the ground. Is it going to reward him with the boundary? No, it does not. It's just going to be a single for him. And you can see he's just a little bit frustrated with himself. He wants to start gutting a little bit bigger.
Siraj Khan trying to hit that one really hard. The ball hit the toe of his bat. Akash Joshi, 1 ball to finish his spell. He's picked up 2 big wickets and has conceded only 9 runs.
Yeah, it's been a brilliant spell for Akash Joshi so far. 9 runs, 2 wickets. You're not mishearing. Those are his actual figures. And that one is worked through the offside. Fielder coming around just to limit it to 1. No, it is going to run away for 4. It is 4 runs. So a rather inglorious end to a good spell for Akash Joshi. Gives up 13 for 2 wickets and 2 overs. And at the end of 7 overs, 53 for the loss of 3.
A brilliant bowling this from Akash Joshi. 2 overs for just 13 runs despite that boundary being given.
Yeah, it was brilliant. And for Samp Army, you can't ask for anything better out of Akash Joshi. He's a veteran player that you've brought into the side, and you expect him to play like he's doing. And he's leading from the front, leading by example. Again, as you see these excellent drone shots, it just gives you chills, you know, looking at this stuff out here. And the way Akash is bowled should also give you chills, because that is just exceptional stuff.
Yeah, I was just going to talk about this sometime back. If you're a cricketer or if you're a cricket fan living in Morrisville, you should be absolutely happy to be here, because you get to play in these wonderful grounds. These are grounds that the national, you know, level of cricketers are looking at and wanting to come and play at. And that's the beauty of this league, giving opportunity to local cricketers to play in international standard grounds, facilities.
Yeah, just hats off to the league itself, right? For everything that they've been able to do and providing this ground. Again, a ground that a lot of USA national level cricketers are excited to play on, want to come here and play on these grounds. And whenever they see the Morrisville Cardinals on their schedule, like, yes, we get to go to Church Street Park. And I think, you know, a lot of players want to get to the finals, not just for being in the finals, but for getting to play at these types of grounds.
Yeah, and imagine when the uniforms arrive. This tournament was planned in a very, very short time. We're so happy to see that this tournament has actually kick-started the way we thought and in the time frame we thought. The only miss at this point is the non-availability of the uniforms, as Abdul Hamid bowls are wide and gives an extra run away to the Stars. And we're expecting those you know, uniforms, the shipment to arrive this Friday. You may see the first couple of days the players playing without their team uniforms, but oh, that's nicely taken. Siraj Khan trying to go down the track because Abdul Hamid was looping those deliveries, kind of yorking himself. There was width on offer. He threw his bat, but the ball going straight into the hands of the fielder at backward point.
And we were seeing the frustration build up with Siraj. He was rotating it around, but you could start to get the sense that he wanted to get a little bit bigger and then try to do it on that delivery. Not a lot of pace. Abdul was giving some loop, and that one he just tried to push it over the top, and it was just quick hands out there by the fielder at backward point. So that's going to be the 4th wicket there for the Stars. Siraj Khan goes, scored 20 off of 12. Again, was batting pretty well. Looks like Varun Papuri was the man at backward point who took the catch. As you see this brilliant and I think pretty accurate photo of Siraj Khan. Well, we'll put a poll. We'll put a poll. You think this is actually Siraj Khan or not? There's your chance. Leave it in the comments. But there you go. That is the end of Siraj Khan, and the new batsman walking out is the lefty Kirk Thompson.
Kirk Thompson is a player from Barbados who moved here at the beginning of this year. He can hit the ball big. Hasn't been in a great form of late, but he is an impact player. He is a power hitter. If there is something on a slot and if he connects, it can go out of the park. I can tell you that much. The Stars will be hoping that he can just put a couple of them away. You don't need like a 25-run over. I don't think we're going to see that kind of a game on this pitch. From if the first game and the 7.1 overs of this innings is any indicator of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think we're going to see a lot of big stuff. And as you mentioned, Kirk Thompson has been in the best groove of things, but I did see him practicing at Shiloh the other day, and he was looking to get back himself into touch. I think he's starting to feel some motivation, wanting to score some runs for this T10 tournament. So here he is in the middle, and he's going to get Abdul Hamid. And this might be a great play for Samp Army, having a slower bowler against a guy like Kirk Thompson, someone who wants to be, who is a power hitter, who likes to get the ball down the ground. Having a slower, loopy guy may be just the key you need. Appeal straight away, and umpire not interested. I'm not sure if there was bat on it or if it was just hitting outside his leg, but
at least I'm happy that he didn't go across the line. Kirk Thompson, his shot selection has been a problem in some of the recent games that he's played. Oh, right under his nose, that one. Kirk Thompson drives it to long off, runs really hard. Is that a chance for a wicket? Oh, Abdul Hamid unable to collect the ball in time and allowing the batsman to get another run.
And that's the key with runouts. You got to collect the ball and then hit the stumps. He had plenty of time for he didn't look like he had anything in there, Samir Lodi. He looked like he was well outside of his crease by the time the ball had hit his hands. Probably could have just collected it, even taken a nap, and then hit it the way that Samir was there. He just felt like he had a lot of time, and he just misutilized that time in a rush, and it ended up the ball not sticking in his hands, and Samir survives another day.
Oh, Kirk Thompson trying to go across a length delivery from Abdul Hamid. Luckily, that one missing the stumps. A perfect opportunity for the two of them to gather in the middle of the pitch and talk about how they want to run between wickets. Kirk Thompson seems to be very firm about running quick. Oh, now the full toss there. Kirk Thompson going across, missing it altogether. Same thing that we were talking about. The inability to put those bad balls away when he goes across the line. It was there to be put away, and he missed it completely.
And that's just got to be the worst way to go for Kirk Thompson. It's a juicy full toss, so you could see he was ready to put it away. But as I said, maybe how slow that ball came on to him. He was so quick through the shot, missed it altogether. Ball gets straight on the middle stump, and you could see Abdul holding his head afterwards, knowing he had just gotten away with robbery with that wicket. Knew that there was that ball had no reason being wicket. That should have been blasted into the next community over. But he gets a wicket nonetheless, and 5 down now are the Stars.
The pitch not coming into the equation on that occasion. There's nothing that could be blamed but Kirk himself. Missing a full toss. Brilliant wicket, Abdul Hamid. 2 in the over.
2 in the over, that is correct. And he might have been the most expensive of the guys, but with 2 wickets, it makes you look all that much better. And you bring Saad Khan out to bat, and he's a more technical player, doesn't go big straight away. He's a guy who likes to feel himself in. So this could be a huge turning point for Samp Army to get themselves firmly in front of this match.
Well, I do believe that it could be a huge turning point for the Stars, because I do believe that you need somebody like a Saad Khan who can play more technically. It's not necessarily blasting away. You got to read the pitch. You got to score runs the way the pitch allows you to. So Saad Khan might be a blessing in disguise. If he can put like 10-15 runs from this point onwards, they will take it with both hands.
Yeah, and you're still in a pretty decent shape with the runs, as you see this lovely shot captured by our Aswetan dubbed Dronacharya. Beautiful shot there, but as you mentioned, 56 runs still on the board, and you still have 2 overs to go. So you're thinking of those 2 overs. You can get a single every single delivery. Looking to add 12 more runs. You're looking to get yourself to 68, which is it's definitely below what you're looking at, but it's still in that realm where you can say we can defend this with our bowling attack.
Absolutely. If they can get anything between 15 and 20 runs, they'd have done really well from here. 75. We saw 80 being defended. The conditions are a little sticky right now in comparison to the first game, so 70-75 is a brilliant score, I would say. Again, it all boils down to how they would field.
And it looks like Prince Patel is going to come back into the attack. His first over just went for 3 runs, so he was someone that the openers were respecting. So now you got to see Samir and Saad try to go after him just a little bit, or at least continue to push and rotate. But Prince, you know, if he can just get a couple wickets, just 1 wicket in this over, you think that Samp Army have really taken this game by the neck.
Absolutely. It's a short tournament, only 4 league games. So if you lose the first game, it could be a huge setback in terms of teams that will qualify. The teams are placed in 2 different groups. All teams playing teams from the opposite group. And that's how you have 4 games played. And at the end of the day, all the teams will be ranked on 1 table, and the top 3 or 4, I gotta go check that, will go into the playoffs. So it's very important. You're not just competing within your group to qualify, you're competing against 7 other teams to qualify for a spot in the playoffs. That's how this format is structured. Therefore, it's very important that you start well.
And how about this? 3 runs taken there by the batsman. Good running from these 2. I think they picked the gap, and it was good work to prevent it from going for 4. But the batsmen, they were very proactive with their running and ran it out. They pick up 3 runs there. So they move into the 60s now. 10 deliveries to go, and you're in a pretty firm position, and you just got to keep the run scoring.
Trying to go across the line. The bowler not appealing. I did hear an appeal from one of the fielders or the wicketkeeper. Looks like the ball was clearly missing the stumps there.
Yeah, it definitely was there, but you know, they're going to go up for everything. That's the excitement of white ball cricket. They just go up and go up and go up. And you can see Prince, he's changed it up, continuing to come over for Samir Lodi and then come through for Saad Khan. So I'm interested to see why he's done that tactic. Throughout the minor league, he did go through, so going over something to a right-hander he hasn't really done. But he's changed it up here, and I think variations are what white ball cricket is all about. So, hey, I'm here for it. As this delivery comes into Saad Khan. Saad looking to take a big wipe at it. Might have been a little bit of an outside edge, gone through covers. And they're going to push for 2 runs, and it's just, again, tremendous running and a little bit of poor fielding there from Samp Army. There's a little bit of bobble that allowed them to get back for an easy 2.
Finish.
That's what I'm thinking. I thought the last time.
You're on.
So we apologize. We thought we were on. Apparently not. The thing died. So, you know, always technical issues. But we got the charger out. We got it all out. But at the end of the 10 overs, the Stars are 72 for the loss of 5. So 73 is the target. And we said this is a very defendable score. But if you're the Samp Army, you feel good about holding this batting lineup to 72. As you look at the scorecard, Jaskar Malot at the very top, just 8 runs. You got to feel very good if you're the Samp Army there. You look at Munna Hussain, who it says Hasham Malik, but it is Munna Hussain. 9, just off 9 deliveries. Siraj Khan was 20 off of 12 and was probably the best of the batch for the Stars. Nilesh Patil, the skipper, 6 off of 6. Samir Lodhi, 10 off of 9. Kirk Thompson was 2 off of 4, and Saad Khan, 10 off of 7, not out as well. So they finished that off against 72 runs to their names, and it was a good bowling performance. And with the bat, they got to feel pretty decent about what they've done.
Absolutely. Looking at the bowling scorecard for Samp Army, the pick of the bowlers, I think, was Akash Joshi. 2 big wickets for just 13 runs. Abdul Hamid came back very strongly in his second over, picked up 2 wickets in that over, gave away 15 runs. Varun Papuri bowled very well, 1 wicket for 14. Only 5 bowlers used. Means that the Samp Army had planned this well and have also executed well for the first half. We've got to wait and see if their batting will click, if they can cross over the line and join the ultimate emperors on the points table. We'll be back in a few minutes with live action.
And welcome to the second innings here of the inaugural T10 tournament. We're the second match between the Stars and Samp Army. And the Stars, they put up 72 in their first inning, so the Samp Army go in to chase 73. And it looks like the two openers for the Samp Army are going to be John Vijay and Sarna Patel. So, Shwetan, let me know your thoughts on this.
Two good options, left and right combination. John Vijay has been in decent form with the bat. And Sarna Patel has been scoring a lot of runs. He scored a brilliant 60 or 70 on this ground against Kings in the T10 format about 10 days ago. And he was really, really good. He's the kind of player that they'll be hoping to score big in this game. He's not a big hitter, plays clean cricket, picks gaps, and he's a left-hander. So hoping, Samp Army will be hoping that he will play a long innings and help his team chase this down.
And I was talking to Sarnam actually before the game, and he was telling me that he has a little bit of a hamstring troubling him. So we'll see how that affects his bat. I don't think it'll affect it too much. As you said, just played a couple of days ago, so I don't think it'll affect him too much. But it is something to watch for. And John is going to take strike, and it looks like Nilesh Patil, the skipper, is going to call his own number to come here and bowl in the opening. A very good bowler. Gets that ball to come back into the right-hander and can move it away. So, and the pace that he brings can also disrupt a batsman's touch and timing.
Yeah, these two batsmen, pretty good runners between the wickets. Young fellows. I do see a couple of heavy fielders for Stars. Can that come in the way of their defense? We got to wait and see.
Yeah, Shwetan's called that the fielding was going to be key, so you know he wants that to come into play. You know he's going to comment it if it does, and I think he is right. The fielding has to be pristine from both sides if you want to win this game. If it's not, you basically are out. Doesn't matter how well you bat or bowl. If you're not going to field well in this type of format, you're not going to play. But now Nilesh Patil runs in to John Vijay, and you can see movement straight away, and John just trying to reach out for it.
Beautiful pace there. First ball, John Vijay not getting to the pitch, getting beaten, safely gathered behind the wickets.
Oh, and there we go. Saharsh Shwetan behind the wicket. So, Shwetan's is going to give a keen eye to Saharsh in the back, his son, and he's a very good wicket keeper in his own right. Learned from his father, and look at that back carry back from the keeper. That was almost a fullest length delivery, and it came up to Saharsh's face almost. I know he's a little bit of a shorter guy, but still.
Agree to most of the things that you said, but for the fact that he did not learn anything from me on his wicket keeping, and I'm so glad that he did not.
Well, the saying is like father, like son, but apparently Shwetan's telling us like father, not like son. So we'll see. But again, he's a very good keeper for his young age, and that one's played straight back by John, and it's not going to end up in a run. So a very tidy first three balls here from Nilesh, and he's putting the block hole and making John work for everything.
Absolutely. 3 dots, you can't ask for a better start. Yes, you could have picked up a wicket or two. Let's remind everybody that it's only a 60-ball game. Yes, the target is 72, but we're already under 50 balls? No, 57 balls.
Math is hard, folks. It's okay. Oh, and look at that movement in the air. Just somehow misses leg stub. That started outside the off and just missed leg. So Harsh did great to move his feet all the way and get that delivery. John a little bit frustrated, but like we said, Nilesh very good at moving the ball back into the right-hander and creating some problems for John Vijay.
John Vijay, I think, has nightmares of the innings from yesterday. His team lost a game that was in their hands, so is he thinking about those kind of things? Oh, this time getting some bat, runs it backward of point, comes back comfortably for 2 runs. Off the mark, Samp Army and John Vijay.
Yeah, and they're going to be glad to get some runs. You don't want to give up any maidens in this format. You don't want to give up 2 runs. You don't want to have a 2-run over, but you take that over a maiden any day of the week. Again, the equation kind of starting to drift down a little bit. Under 60 balls to play. And Nilesh, he's been hard to play. You could see, I think John was ready to kind of slap it away. Saw was a little bit back of a length. Saw was outside the off stump, and just the nip back in forced him to just play down to backward point. But again, Nilesh, he's bowled a great first over. That one was a little bit of a full toss. It was wide, and it was worked through the covers. Then Sarnam sends John back, and I do think they could have gone back for 2. A little bit of a dive there given by the wicketkeeper.
It's just running in to collect that one, bouncing a little too high for him.
So there's going to do it. End of the first over, 3 without loss, and kind of similar to the way Samp Army's inning started. Prince Patel bowled the first over, only gave up 3 runs, so some symmetry between these 2 innings.
Looks like we may have a spinner being introduced. We got to wait and see.
It looks like it's going to be Hasham Malik for the Stars. Excuse me, no, it's going to be Munna Hussain for the Stars.
We'd rather wait to see who is actually running into bowl and make that call.
Yeah, you're getting a lot of information from a lot of people. Sometimes you just got to wait and see. Patience is sometimes the best policy.
That bowler from here looks nothing like Munna Hussain.
It is going to be Hasham Malik, so we're getting some my bads from the people giving us information, but it's okay. We all make mistakes.
Yeah, that's mainly because Munna Hussain used Hasham Malik's name while batting, or the scorer used his name. And now we have real Hasham Malik in action.
So we're getting word that he was a super sub. So interesting. They're using all the tactics here, are the Stars.
Absolutely. We do have super subs in this game. A 12th player can be playing a part in the game, either with the bat or with the ball.
So here we go. John back on strike. So Sarnam still without any. But John, he's more than happy to get some strike. He likes to get going, likes to take strike. But Hasham Malik, another one who swings it, and they do get a single. So Sarnam will get the strike, but no break from the swing. And now maybe some issues for Sarnam as you get the right-hander who can definitely bring it back into the lefty.
Yeah, in such a short format, I do believe that you got to keep all those sentiments aside and have your best player take strike from the very first ball. Just look at what happened. If you've had a couple of dot balls at the beginning of the innings, it straight away starts putting pressure. The format is such that.
And how about these views? Get a little bit of closer angle, a little bit higher up. But look at this, and as you mentioned, bringing in some pressure. If you can get a couple of dot balls to start off, but look how green the grass is. It just gets you so hyped up as a cricket fan, just having a green field to play on.
Brilliant views. Thanks to Babar for bringing these pictures. He's doing a lot of magic out there. Getting some ultimate views as Hasham Malik runs in. Sarnam faces his first ball, confidently drives it, but straight to Jaskaran Malhotra at mid-wicket. No runs added, so only 4 runs coming off the first 1.5 overs bowled.
Yeah, only 4 runs, but you could see the movement in the air from this vantage point of how much is coming back into Sarnam. So something to watch for. That time it was full at length and it's worked through the offside. But again, just going to be 2, yes, 2 young legs, and they are able to get away for 2. And it is going to be 4 runs out to the boundary there. So 4 runs for Sarnam Patel. So the first boundary comes up for us, the Samp Army.
Puts his head down and drives brilliantly to the right of the fielder at mid-off. Hasham Malik swings the ball, but Sarnam gets to it, negates the swing if any was on offer, and drives it beautifully.
Yeah, and a relief there for the Samp Army, finally getting onto the board. They were just dealing in dot balls and the occasional signal. Now to get Sarnam, again, he's been in good touch, so if you can get him scoring, you feel good. That time again, wide outside the off stump, worked through the covers, but it's well stopped there.
I do believe it was Siraj Khan there at cover, getting down on time and flicking that back to the bowler. So nice comeback there for Hasham after that boundary. So Sarnam has to just keep his head down, play a cool innings, take it, play it deep, take it deep.
And I think that's the key in T10. When chasing, I think you just got to take it deep. Get to 10 overs, because on this type of ground, runs can flow as that one just getting some nip away from Sarnam, so well watched. But if you can take it deep with this kind of ground, you feel, okay, yeah, we have a chance if we just continue to keep the scoreboard ticking and get deeper into our innings.
And what's very nice to see is that Sarnam is not trying to go across the line. He's still playing with a full face bat. If he can continue to do that, he'll start picking gaps more frequently in a little while. A short pitch delivery not coming on to him. Sarnam keeping his shape and tucking it away to the leg side for a single. At the end of 2 overs, the Samp Army 9 for no loss in search of 73 runs to win this first game for them.
Yeah, 64 required in 8 overs, so the acquired run rate of 8. Still not terrible, but in this type of format, it's hard to score. And now for sure, the way this man is walking back, I think that we have another youngster coming in to bowl. And I believe it's going to be underneath the bowl of Seti, but I'm going to wait. I'm not going to call anything before we get the official word.
Not very sure. I do believe that it's Jaskaran who's taken the ball, or Nilesh giving it to him rather. We're so used to call. Oh, we don't know. We got to wait and call this. Things are happening out here in Church Street Park so much, so frequently that we cannot call it right.
So much, so frequently, and I believe it is going to be City. The ball has just been given to Anirudh Bolasetti from Jaskaran Malhotra, giving him some words. And Jaskaran, familiar with the Bolasetti name, playing with Abhiram in the minor league, so now gets a taste of the younger brother Anirudh, as he's going to come in for the first bowler. So he's a high energy pace bowler, and he gets good pace for his age, and I think he's built for this moment.
Full marks to stars. You know, they picked 2 youngsters in their team, and they are letting them do what they know best. Anirudh with the ball and Saharsh keeping here. There are many teams which picked up youth. We got to wait and see if they will use them. The tournament forces all teams to at least have 2 games given to 2 youth players in their squads.
Yeah, and in the morning match, you saw Ritvik Uppity, who did come in and bowled 2 overs. He bowled really well. Aryan Gotkar came in 1 down. You saw Mitali, who also came in. She came in to come and bat. So you're seeing some youth come out and play well. And you're going to do straight away to Sarnam, and he's on the mark straight away.
Absolutely. That also goes to show the trust the Stars have on these young players. They don't have a huge score on the boat. They probably would have thought that with the kind of batting lineup they had, they would score some 130, 140 runs, but it wasn't the case. They just scored 72, but still sticking to their plan and letting these younger players contribute. Anirudh Bolasetti bowling within power play, hitting short of length there. Sarnam rocks back and puts that away. Big boundary. I'm sure somebody's going to go have a word with him in a very nice manner and ask him to just pitch it up just that little bit.
Yeah, and you're asking to be hit with that kind of a length. I don't think he has that kind of pace quite yet. Sarnam played in the minor league, got a taste of a lot of these really pacey bowlers. That time was able to stay on the back foot and slap it away. And as you said, Jaskaran Malhotra just tells Anirudh, hey, keep it simple, go push it up and let the ball swing, do your thing, youngster. And that's better from him right there.
To believe that there was a single there to be taken, but the fielder was Jaskaran Malhotra, also Siraj Khan trying to intercept that one, getting a little bit of a hand. That sounded very, very sweet off the blade of Sarnam Patel.
Yeah, he's played a lot of cricket and he's been scoring a lot of runs. So Sarnam's a guy who's riding high on confidence, who people, this team is going to depend on, and there's a reason for it, and you're going to see it today. That one again short, and it just hits straight to Jaskar Malhotra at mid-off, and there you go, Sarnam Patel. We were raving about him, but he goes trying to take Anirudh on. That time just a little bit too much outside the off stump, unable to get much power on it, and just slices it straight to Jaskar.
Oh, it was all pace. The pace gets the better of the batsman. I think the ball just hurried on to Sarnam Patel. He kept his shape, but he couldn't get over the fielder. And more unfortunately for him, he hits it straight to the US national player, Jaskar Malhotra, who just waits for that one and takes it very easily.
Yeah,
one of the better batsmen of Samp Army gone.
Yeah, no mistakes going to be made from Jaskar Malhotra, but now Abdul Hamid comes in to come and partner with John Vijay. And John, he's been off strike for quite some time. Sarnam did do took most of the strike in this over for the 4 balls. He's played all 4 of them, and it looks like John will be on strike. I believe they did take a rotation.
What a moment in this game. The big wicket of Sarnam gone and taken by Anirudh Bolisetti, 14 years of age, getting the better batsman out.
Yeah, it's a big moment for Anirudh. He's a guy, again, he's very confident in his abilities. He's not going to shy away from any challenge. But to get supported by, the U.S. national player in Jaskar Malhotra and supported by this team and say, come and bowl in this moment and take the big wicket of Sarnam Patel, it's got to feel really good for this youngster.
If I pick this right, after being hit for a boundary, Anirudh Bolisetti's pace seemed to have increased a little bit. And how is that for confidence?
Yeah, nerves go down and just stick to the... Oh, and that's a delivery and a half there from Anirudh. I think he took some pace off of it, or was nipping in and just moved away at the last moment and just absolutely undid John Vijay. So the youngster showing off his skills with the ball.
This is brilliant to watch. I put stars on top at this point. We are very early into the innings, but it's a short format, only 10 overs. We're almost 33% done with this game.
Yeah, stars, you got to love where you're sitting at right now. Just 13 runs in what is 2.5 overs, and that one's going to be wide down the leg side. So trying to do a little bit too much there, Anirudh, and I think just you can see him on your screen. Come in and have a word with him and just say, hey, go back to what you know.
Absolutely. There was no necessity to pitch it short. There's no protection in deep square leg. Any bat on that one would have got 4 easy runs. So Jaskar rightly going up to Anirudh and passing on a secret, which everybody knows. Pitch it up.
Yeah, I don't think you can call it a secret anymore, and pitches it up, and big appeal, and he's gone, and John has to walk, and he's looking back, and in disbelief, he doesn't believe it. And hands up in the air for John Vijay, but he's been given, you can hear the cries from out here that it was out, that was out, and John has to walk, and Samp Army lose their second wicket. 3 overs gone, 14 for the loss of 2.
Absolutely brilliant. Not sure what John was trying to say there. We could hear that Nick live out here, about 90 yards from the stumps, or 90 meters from the stumps rather. A nice grab behind the stumps by Saharsh as well.
Got to bring that out there, but the youth, they doing their thing there, right? You see Anirudh doing his, and then Saharsh making no mistake behind the stumps. That is always a factor that can be taken for granted. You look at Justin taking that catch. Yes, it's simple, but you need someone who can take it. And Saharsh did his job, Anirudh did his job, and what an over for the youngster. 2 wickets in the opener, takes both the openers, and just gave up 5 runs. An incredible over, and the Stars, they have their tails up right now.
Incredible over that from the junior Bolisetti. Goes for a 4, goes for a boundary very early in his innings, comes back and gets rid of Sarnam and John Vijay, the 2 openers, having them for dinner.
Yeah, and Abdul Hamid is going to be on strike now for Samp Army, and it looks like they're going to introduce a new bowler into the attack. It's going to be Danish Khan, the leggy. So you're thinking on Church Street on a turf wicket, you can get some spin on offer, but this particular wicket isn't made such for the spinners.
Well, he's a wrist spinner, so wrist spinners don't necessarily depend on the surface. They can turn it away, and it requires a lot of skill to play spinners. We got to wait and see. how much of skill, batting skill, the two batsmen out there possesses. And Danish is a pretty reputed leg spinner in the league. It also brings stumping into the equation. If the batsman uses the feet, pitched it too full. Abdul Hamid, the new batsman in, drives it straight back to the bowler.
Yeah, and I think the key here is, for Abdul Hamid is just to continue to keep the scoreboard ticking. Don't need to go big, just get ones and twos. Try to be a little bit too cheeky there, and just not able to get on. Came on a little bit quicker to him, and we know Shweta wants to see a stumping. We know he wants to see Abdul start to use his feet.
But again, that's up in the air, straight to backward point, spinning away. Anirudh Bolisetti grabs that pretty easily. A straightforward catch. I was just going to say that he was a little too full on the first two deliveries, Danish Khan. Pulling that length back, offering some width. Abdul Hamid unable to get a good part of the bat, getting caught at backward point for no score.
And the man of the hour right now, Anirudh Bolisetti, takes 2 wickets of his own and takes this simple catch. And Danish Khan being brought on to take a wicket does just that. And the Samp Army starting to tumble now. They lose their 3rd wicket here in what is just 9 deliveries, 3 wickets down. So they are really starting to struggle here, and they're going to need an answer because the Stars are firmly atop of this.
I do believe it's Prince Patel who's coming into bat. Not very sure. Prince is already at the crease on the opposite side. So it is Ashish Jain, the experienced Ashish Jain. He was the wicketkeeper for Samp Army. A reputed cricketer. He's played at the level of US Open and a couple of franchisee cricket.
So can Danish repeat what Anirudh Bolisetti did in his first over? Can they both take 2 wickets? And the Stars, they would love nothing more than Danish Khan to get a second. Slip still in play.
Now the full-length delivery. This was angled on to the middle and leg stump. Ashish Jain trying to flick that to mid-wicket, not getting a good piece of his bat.
Yeah, and for Danish, you could say it's a little bit too full, and I would have to agree. But he does get a lot of dip, right? He loops it up, but the dip comes very quick and very rapidly. So that is something that does benefit. If you try to go cross bat, you have the thing where you could miss it.
Not sure if that was a chance there. With the hands going up onto the heads of Jaskaran, you would imagine that there was possibly a chance. Was it or not? Got to wait and see.
But how about this for Saharsh? He's at keeping, and who's that slip? Jaskar Malhotra, who keeps for the U.S. national side, and this time uses the feet. Does Ashish Jain? Has he cleared everybody? No, it's just going to be 2 that they do push for, but good use of the feet, and they do start to score some runs.
Some wonderful backing up from Jaskaran Malhotra. 2 runs taken at the end of over number 4, a successful one for the Stars. The Samp Army are 16 for the loss of 3 wickets.
Yeah, and the Samp Army, they're starting to struggle now. They're going to need to push in. I think you saw the intent from Ashish Jain in the previous over on the final delivery to go down the track and start to create something. I believe Prince Patel, he's going to be someone who has to push. He's got to lead from the front. An experienced player for the side, did play minor league cricket, so he's someone who's going to have to lead by example. But under the Bolisetti taking both the openers, he's riding high on confidence, and it's going to be a battle for these 2.
Yeah, what's really bothering me is the fact that not many batsmen, at least while chasing, not looking to use the outfield. There's huge acreage out there to be used. Put the ball in those gaps and start running. All you need is a runner ball, at least for the first 6-7 overs, and the odd boundaries will always come. It doesn't matter who's bowling. When you bowl 10 overs, you always are going to get a couple of boundaries here and there. They already got 2 boundaries at the beginning. It's all about running hard, hitting the gaps, but the batsmen don't seem to be inclined to do that.
Yeah, and I think something that's being missed is Siddharth Khan was 20 off of 12, and I don't remember him hitting more than 1 boundary. He hit the opening boundary for 4, just rubbed it through the covers, and then said, oh, single here, double there. And that's how he was able to accumulate his score. And I think that's the trick, as you mentioned, that Samp Army's missing, and Anirudh right on the button from ball 1.
Absolutely. Jaskaran and Nilesh, the think tank, I would say, for the Stars, using him up. Remember, only 2 overs per bowler, so this will be the last over that Anirudh is bowling. Not that the Stars are short of any bowlers. They're just using the available resources very, very wonderfully and wisely.
Yeah, and Anirudh, he's proved to be the right choice. And again, he's just hitting that good length and saying, score. He's good length right up top of the off stump that said, score off me. And it's just been tough for these Samp Army batsmen.
And what tells you a lot about a bowler is the follow through. He delivers the ball and just goes almost 3/4 off the pitch. You don't do that when you're not confident, do you?
No, you don't. As someone who has highs and lows of confidence, definitely you can tell when I'm feeling confident. It's the run up, and that one's up in the air. It's going to fall short of everybody. Oh, Nilesh Bhatta went for the run out, but good backing up there from Siddharth Khan. No, not good backing up. He's let it gone through him. I thought the ball had went straight to his hands, but it apparently went straight through his hands, and they are able to sneak away a second run. So the Stars getting a little bit careless right now.
Yes, you don't want to do that again. Like we said in the first innings, after having picked up a couple of wickets, you want to be giving your 120%. That's the time to just press hard.
Yeah, you got to put the nails in the coffin. You can't just let it be slower delivery that time for Anirudh, and it's worked through the covers. Is it going to run all the way for 4? No, it's going to be 2, and 2 quite easily in the end. So this Samp Army starting to pick up their run right now and starting to let the runs flow. That's
exactly the way I think they should go about things for the next 5 overs at least. Or at least 4 overs, I should say. It's a small game.
It takes some time to adjust to that, right?
Yeah, get your 1s and 2s. You're talking about 7-8 runs per over. If you do that for another 4 overs, you're what, 35 runs, and you already have 20. You're another 15 runs away from the target. Take it deep.
Absolutely, take it deep, take it deep, take it deep. That's the name of the game right now. The run rate, the acquired run rate is above 10.3, but if you can get your current run rate to in the 6s, you feel in that final over 15 odd runs. Yes, it's difficult, but it's still manageable. Where if you try to go big, you're going to lose this game before you even get it going. I think if they can just, again, like you said, work the 1s and 2s that are always going to be on offer at Church Street Park, you still have a chance later on in this match.
Anirudh Bolisetti bowling the last ball of his spell. Similar length to the first couple that he bowled. Finishes off his spell with under a run a ball. 2 overs, 10 runs, and 2 brilliant wickets. What a spell.
Yeah, a brilliant spell, and you know, it should have been 1 run taken off there, so make it 2 overs, 9 runs. There was a run off an overthrow, but it was brilliant from Anirudh. He was sent in. They put the confidence on him. They said, hey, we trust you, and he delivered, and that's all you can ask a young player to do is whenever they're given their opportunity to deliver, and that's what he's done.
21 in 5 overs, just a little over 4 runs per over. The asking rate is more than 10.4. 52 of 5 overs. I'm not going to call the bowler yet.
Well, they definitely have plenty of bowling options, which makes it tough. It's not like standard teams where it's like, okay, it's one of these 5 guys. They got plenty of them, but now we know who the bowler is. It's going to be Jaskaran Malhotra. He does open for the Morsel Cardinals usually, and he's given the opportunity for other guys to open, not the captain in this format, but now he's been given the ball by the skipper Nilesh, and he's someone who's going to fire it in quick right outside of the off stump, and it is an opportunity to score some quick singles if you just try to work the ball. If you're going to try to hit it, you're not going to score off of it.
And what a challenge it is going to be for Saharsh to keep wickets. I don't even see a third man. He dots those balls and
oh, well, how about that there from Saharsh down the leg side? And you can see Jaskaran going to say thank you, buddy, because that was a certain 4. Like he said, no third man, no fine leg, and Saharsh made good use of the feet, dove out to his left, and well done there from Saharsh. You can't say nothing wrong about that.
4 runs written all over that one. Diving to his left and stopping that one. Good applause from the US national player. This time pitching it full, driven straight.
And it is going to be 4 runs straight back, and this is what we're talking about. He does have a lot of pace, so if you can get bat onto ball and just work it in the manner where the ball is going, you're going to pick up some runs, and there you go. A confident-looking shot there from Prince Patel.
Absolutely, and the long on fielder almost camouflaged into that side screen. Lack of colored clothing. I couldn't see him at all.
Yeah, well, you know, now you can see a little bit of an adjustment there from Juskran, but he's got to find a new way to go about it. You can see him moving fielders around. He's changed up where the fielders are and who the fielders are. But again, the pace that Juskran has from those couple of steps, if you can get bat onto ball, you have the opportunity to score runs. There's no doubt about it. Just got to work the deliveries and not try to overhit it, and that's what Prince Patel did.
Is that a catch? It was in the air but wide of any fieldsman. Looking to come back for a second, but
oh, and a wild throw. That was too high for the keeper. It's evaded the man who's backing it up, and under the bull said a great throw in from the deep. The flat, hard throw, and you know, they're going to give up a couple runs there, and it was, I don't think, and it looks like it was Kirk Thompson in the outfield, went a little bit more too aggressive with the throw, and just Saharsh hasn't grown a couple more inches, maybe would have gotten up there. It was a great effort, but they're going to leak some runs there. There's 3 runs leaked up, so in the first 2 deliveries, they've given up 8 runs, so a great start for Samp Army.
Wonderful start, but the required run rate is still over 9 runs per over. The Stars have it, but this is where you got to keep the momentum on your side. Another full-length delivery, a dot ball there. Hit hard, but straight back to Juskran.
And this is where the adjustment's going to have to be. You saw Prince was very comfortable playing Juskran, just working it. Ashish Jain, I think, has to get into the mindset of Prince. Has to say, okay, work it. Not try to overhit it, not try to do anything too special. Just work it, because the pace he has, if it hits a gap, it's going to be very hard to stop.
Now the one going down the leg side, darting that one. Little bit of a slow effort there from the boundary. Samir Lodhi. Batsman comfortably able to get back for 2. These are the things that the Stars should be watching and cutting down. It was hit straight to the fielder on the outfield. Must have just been 1 run.
Yeah, and again, this is how you let teams back into matches. You are so firm when you have the tiger by the neck. You got to finish it off, and they're just letting their foot off the gas pedal right now and letting this Samp Army get back into it. Their quad run rate dropping a little bit as that one has worked through the covers. Has it found the gap through there? No, it has not, and throw right on the full there to Juskran. So they're going to come back for 2 runs, but the best over so far for the Samp Army.
Yeah, 12 runs coming off it, and the over is still not completed. Some confident-looking drives. Nobody's trying to play anything across the line. Still getting 12 runs.
Yeah, and again, if you're the Samp Army, you got to hope that maybe Juskran comes back for a second. He's the only guy you've been able to score off of so far. And again, it's worked straight back, and they're going to get a single to end the over. So it was a pretty decent over for Samp Army. 6 overs gone, 34 from those 6. They need 39 and the next 4 to go ahead and win the match.
Are they having a little bit of a mid-pitch conference? Not that they are doing any bad, the Stars. Just have to come back and bowl decently well enough to get this game.
I think the brain trusts are out there deciding who they're going to give this next over to. And I think it's going to be Danish Khan, but we don't want to make any bold predictions out here. But it looks like Danish is getting ready to come in and bowl his second over. But it'll be interesting. They've changed his end. He bowled well from the previous end, but I think given this opportunity, given the need of him right now, they're going to go and let him bowl on this side.
It'll be perfect if he can slow it down just that little bit. Given the big outfield, there'll be you can expect some catches in the outfield. Time and again, you've seen batsmen trying to hit the leg spinners hard and holding out.
Yeah, and the batsmen just got word that they need 39 runs in 4 overs. But I don't think they need to change their tactic all too much. What they did in the previous over, just working the 1s and 2s, not trying to do too much. Again, like you said, take it deep. They're still in a great position here where they can take this into the final over and still have a great opportunity to win the match.
Yeah, one thing nice to see, unlike the last over, was you have the better of fielders in the outfield in the catching positions. That's a quick stumping there. And a wicket taken. Danish Khan gets Was it Prince Patel, Ashish Jain? Not sure who that was.
Ashish Jain has to depart, and Saharsh very quick behind the stumps. Made some, came down the pitch at Ashish, and Saharsh made no mistake collecting it and taking the stumps off and lighting up the zing bales and lighting up Church Street Park. And Samp Army, they lose their 5th wicket. So the new batsman coming out for Samp Army is going to be Akash Joshi. So you got 2 experienced players out there for Samp Army, and those 2 need to go out there and take it long. So Danish Khan, first ball of his 2nd over, gets a wicket. This is his 2nd over. He's given up 2 runs and he's taken 2 wickets, so 2s all across the scorecard. Switch it straight away. Oh, and it's given him straight away. Akash Joshi has to go, and we were talking about experience. Well, not an experienced shot there. That just showed signs of not knowing what the situation was, and I think this is slipping out the hands of Samp Army.
So the 5th wicket down for Samp Army. We're talking about knowing who the better bowlers in the opposition are. Not that the Stars have any weak links in their bowling attack, but you know that a spinner is going to be very, very hard to get away for runs. And choosing to go with the reverse sweep of the very first delivery wasn't the right choice. It also gives Danish Khan an opportunity to get a hat-trick. He's picked up 2 wickets with the first 2 deliveries.
Yeah, and I think the big issue here is you were going so well in that previous over. I think you had found a formula, and you've just completely abandoned it. Ashish Jain trying to do too much coming down the track and trying to go big. First ball, playing a reverse sweep. That's not what you needed to do, and now it feels like you are digging yourselves in a hole, and now you've given all the momentum back to Stars after you took some of it back. Hat-trick opportunity, slip in play. And my goodness me, Varun Papuri coming in, and this is going to be the biggest first ball of his life.
Danish Khan loops that one, pushes the batsman back, but Varun Papuri was good enough to come down and keep that one from going past him or hitting the stumps. So a hat-trick has been avoided, but they haven't gotten themselves out of the hole as yet.
It's been a perfect over for the Stars. And that one's going to be a wide. So Danish trying to do a little bit too much there, trying to entice the way he got his first wicket with just him trying to cut it, getting a top edge, and going straight to backward point.
He probably anticipated the batsman to come down the track and pushing that one wider. Varun did not do that.
So the first runs of that over after 3 deliveries resulted in 2. And as I'm talking, that was a delivery and a half. Varun had no use of the feet there, and that one just slipped through him, just missing off stump.
Who would have ever thought you'd have a slip in place in the 7th over of a T10 game?
Well, you don't have him anymore. They said, no, I think he's going to go big, and I think it's a strategic play because Varun, probably a seed couple of spin, going to go for a big swipe up in the air, and it's cleared everybody in the infield. Fielder coming around, they're going to take 2 and take 2 quite easily in the end. So some runs for the Samp Army, but again, a perfect over for the Stars.
As they'll be looking up to Varun Papuri. He's been scoring some runs. He's a homegrown cricketer. Just in his 20s, I think, still. Can hit those big shots, but don't know if this outfield is small enough for him to clear. Another well-flighted delivery. Danish Khan finishes a wonderful, wonderful spell. 2 overs, 5 runs for 3 wickets. I can almost already say where that man of the match award is going, but we got to wait for this game to get over. 7 overs done. Samp Army 37, half the side gone.
Yeah, now 36-3, and it becomes ever so much more difficult. And you see just they was never really able to get going. John Vijay just 4 runs to his name, starting on the first wicket to go, 9. He was starting to get into flow, but undone by Anirudh Bolasetti. Abdul Hamid undone by Danish Khan. John Vijay again undone by Anirudh. And then you look at the way Prince Patel was batting, and he is batting 12 off of 8. He's batted well, but Ashish Jain, he goes, and also Akash Joshi, just a rash shot, undoes him. Jaskar Malhotra was the best batsman for the Samp Army, best bowler for the Samp Army to play, 1 over 13 runs. But you look at Anirudh Bolasetti, 2 overs, 10 runs, and 2 wickets to his name, and Danish Khan, 2 overs, 5 runs, and 3 wickets. Those were Danish Khan, obviously the pick of the bowlers for the Stars, and looks like a new bowler is being introduced.
Oh, they can introduce anything and anybody at this point. That's what it looks like. Half the side down for 37 runs with just 3 overs to go. Required run rate 12 runs per over. At the same time, I don't want the Stars to be taking this easy. Oh, Kiran Saravanakumar, now the minor league cricketer, comes into bowl. So they're not taking anything easy. They're just going with the option of utilizing all their better players.
Yeah, if you got the options, why not use them? If they're good options, yeah, we're definitely using them. And the run rate is 12 now. So here's the one thing for Prince Patel. He did like pace on the ball when Jaskaran was bowling. Kiran Issa has a lot of pace. He did show his ability to change it up and bowl the slower ones in the minor league. But if he gets pace onto Prince, yeah, I think Prince can benefit off of it. And it's hit straight up into the air. Fielder coming around. And he's taking it quite comfortably in the end. So, first delivery up, Kiran gets the wicket, Prince Patel has to go, and Varun Papuri is going to be left all alone. 6 wickets down for Samp Army, and the Stars, now they are definitely up top.
Hits the hard length, picks up a beautiful wicket of the very first delivery. The batsman trying to go over the top, not getting any timing, just the height. Siraj Khan gets himself comfortably under that one and holds that. Remember Kiran picking a wicket of his very first delivery in minor league cricket as well. My memories are not very good, but I do think that he did.
He definitely did. I do remember doing that. I believe it was against the Florida Beamers, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's the game he played in. But seems to be his lucky charm. First delivery, first wicket, no matter where he goes, and I'm sure he's not complaining about having that.
A good testimony that mathematics work. I remember half of the incident, and I'm twice as old as you, Aman.
Well, that's something right there. Huh? That mathematics do work, and all your experience, I'm sure you've come across that countless times. But now you're going to get Kiran into Varun Papuri. Preet Patel is the new man. He's going to be at the non-strikers end, another player who played minor league cricket. But Kiran's task now is Varun. And Varun comes down looking to go for another big heave, missing everything.
Well, here's what's funny about this bowling attack. Not really funny. We thought Anirudh Bolasetti bowled an exceptional spell, picking two wickets for 10 runs, and then Danish Khan comes and kind of makes everybody forget that spell from Anirudh Bolasetti. And now Kiran hasn't given away a run yet. It's just bowled 2 balls, but picked up a wicket.
Well, if he gives up a run now, it's going to be the commentator's curse on your end. As he comes back in. Hard length, and he's given up a run, and it might run away for 4, and it has run away for 4. So commentators curse with it, 4 runs, and a well-played shot there for Varun, just using the pace of Kiran, trying to hit the deck hard, a little bit too wide, and was able to push that wide of Anirudh Bolasetti at third man.
Well, every time I say something and things go against it, it proves that I'm a commentator.
Well, safe to say it's not just you who has this effect on players. It's seen across all sports, across all levels of sports. So it's definitely not just you. I've definitely had my moments. So don't give Kiran. Don't worry about it. Swethan didn't mean anything intentionally. It just happens. Happens to the best of us. But here we go. 4th delivery now. Kiran still a tremendous over. 4 runs, 1 wicket. But another big swipe. And another big miss, and Kiran just has to go walk back to his marker because Varun's trying to do a little bit too much now.
Well, it's the second time that the ball has not carried to the wicketkeeper. I think he's standing a little too far. Only wish he learns from what he sees out there and not just go and stand that far because of the bowler's reputation. It really matters to know what the pitch is doing.
And that one's come off of the bat. Quick run out chance. And it's I believe it hit Kieran's hand, so not allowing it to go for any extras, but if it was a direct hit, it would have been very close.
Oh, that would have been curtains for the new batsman there. He was well short of his crease. Prith Patel.
Varun was actually the batsman running to that end. Prith is now going to be on strike. So Prith, he's a man who's played in minor league cricket. He says he likes pace when he's batting, so we'll see if he can take advantage of Kieran not wearing a helmet for Kieran. So interesting decision. We didn't see Saad Khan wear a helmet either, but it is a dangerous ploy, especially with someone with Kieran who has a lot of pace. Full straight and it's hit straight back. Fielder comes around. It is going to be limited not to a boundary. No, some fumbles in the outfield are going to make it 2 runs there, but Prith a very confident looking shot straight away.
I was thinking that Kieran would go short and try to hit his head, telling a thing or two about not wearing a helmet. Not that we wanted the batsman to get hit or anything, but that's how fast bowlers usually think. Kieran was nice enough to pitch one right under his eye.
And that's going to do it for 8 overs, 44 for the loss of 6. So Samp Army need 29 in the next 2. That required run rate above 14 is going to be a very tough ploy from here. But you know Prith Patel and Varun Papuri believe that they can still get it done.
A big sorry for all the viewers if any was expecting some huge hits in a T10 format. Not happening in either games. 80 runs successfully defended in the evening. The first game of the tournament, and this one 73 looks like it's being very, very easily defended. Nilesh Patil, the captain, comes back for his second over.
His first over was it was impeccable. It was exactly what you wanted a man to start off doing, getting a lot of big swing, and he came over the wicket as a left armer, but now he's coming around the wicket, so I think he's assuming the ball's not going to swing as much and try to get that angle in. Again, the task is not easy for the Samp Army. They need 29 in the next 2 overs. Above 14.5 is the required run rate. And it's not going to be easy to score off Nilesh either. He does have pace. Varun was able to use Kieran's in the previous over. And he uses it here, hits it straight back, and there's no fielder there. It wouldn't matter if there was, because that's going to be a 6. And there it is, the first 6 of this innings for sure. And there you go, Samp Army. They get to 50, and they need 23 in the next 1.5.
There's a big hit. He just waited for that one to arrive to him and hit it off his back foot. A big 6, Varun Papuri.
And you can see the change. Nilesh came around the wicket straight up. Now he's going to come over. He's thinking, okay, that change didn't work out for me. I think if you just pull the length back and make him work for it, you're going to get a lot better results. I think he was attempting the Yorker, didn't quite hit it here. Goes full again, and he's worked it around. Some innovation from Varun. That might run away to the boundary as well, and it has run away. So to start off this 9th over, 10 runs, and now the target in the teens.
Oh, that's a brilliant shot to be able to go down on his knee and sweep him away for a boundary. 10 runs of the first 2 balls brings the equation down to 19 from 1.4. Suddenly it looks gettable.
It definitely does, and like I was saying, pace that Nilesh Patil has is something that I think Varun Papuri is going to find a liking to. I think when the ball's coming on and he can kind of swing through, he's going to feel a little bit more confident in his stroke play. So again, his big hits is making it seem like the Samp Army still have a very good shot to win this game. The Stars were just well ahead, and now it looks like the Stars, they might be losing some of their confidence.
Absolutely, it's 19 from 8 deliveries, 10 deliveries. That suddenly looks very, very gettable. 2 shots can change this game. That's the beauty of this format.
And like you said, taking it deep, and that's what Samp Army has done. And that one, he's pushed it out wide. Varun misses it altogether. Not signaled wide by the umpire. I think it was a good call. And Nilesh, I think he's understood. I'm not giving it to him in his arc. I'm not giving it to him close. We're going to push it out and make him swing away from his body.
I'm not too sure if he changed the field in accordance. I can't see a third. Oh, yeah, I do see Anirudh Bolisetti wearing green right in front of those trees. So there is protection there of third man.
So again, it's a smart change. Nilesh understands the situation. Varun knows he needs one more big one. It was full. He's moved out. I think it's caught some of the bat or something off of Varun. They're pushing for 2, chance of a run out, and I think he's got him. And he has got him. I believe he was well out. And that is going to be it for Varun Papuri. He had a brilliant knock. They were pushing for 2. Varun looked in good touch. He was getting things going. But the Samp Army lose their 7th wicket. And quick stuff there from Anirudh Bolasetti and Saharsh behind the stumps to come turn around and have enough awareness to hit that leg stump. He moved quite a bit, but getting to hit that leg stump was so crucial.
2 youngsters in action. That's very, very nice to see. Anirudh Bolasetti with a flat arm. Very, very strong arm that goes with a fast bowler. He's just making his presence felt. Was responsible for the first 2 wickets of this Samp Army innings, and then he took a wonderful catch backward of point, and now a bullet arm from the deep.
So now the biggest thing here is Varun Papuri, yes, he's gone, but now you have a brand new bat here in pressure moments. It's going to be 18 required now, or excuse me, 19 required now.
Yeah, any confidence that was built in the Samp Army dugout after those first 2 big hitting deliveries have been taken away. Shikhar Marwa is the new batsman out in the center. He'll be on strike to Nilesh Patil, who looked to finish strong. He had just given away 3 runs of his first over, actually 2 runs of his first over. He's given 11 in this one. Still looking 13. Not a bad side at all.
And he's worked it away for a single, so he's done his job, gotten breathed back onto strike, but it is going to just be for 1 delivery. But they take Preet on strike for as much as they can. So it is 17 required now from just 7 deliveries.
And Preet Patel can hit big as well. He is a wonderful cricketer himself. We've seen him hit some huge shots in the past, some in this very ground, Church Street Park. Can he do it for Samp Army? They'll be praying that he can.
A boundary here is huge. If you can cut it down to 13 or 11 runs from the last over, you feel good. But here in the final ball of the penultimate, Nilesh Patel comes in. It's hit straight back down the ground. Does it have enough to split the fielders? No, it is not.
Munna Hussain dives and keeps that one from crossing the line, keeping it down to 2 runs.
And someone who rivals your experience, he goes down, gets dirty with it, and was able to stop that one in a crucial dive there, showing that he is still willing to put his body on the line.
Absolutely. 1 over and 15 runs to get. Well, it's still gettable. We've seen very, very strange things happen in limited overs cricket. And how will that be if it does get down to the wire?
And this is something that we also brought up too. We were thinking if you can get her down to 1 over 15, yes, it's going to be difficult, but it's definitely still attainable. This is something that we brought up at the 4 over mark, so I think we got to pat ourselves on the back for talking this one up.
One thing the organizers would absolutely not want to have is a super over. I can tell you that. I'm not calling for it. The lights go off at a specific time, and if this ends in a super over, it's going to be a lot messy for completing this game.
And they're going to continue getting here to come and bowl the final over. Now, interesting again, pace on, but he's able to take pace off, and it is going to be the new man on strike. Shikhar is on strike.
And I'm very sure Preet Patel will be looking to get down to the batting end as quickly as possible in this over. Even if he doesn't get a bat on it, they'll be looking to take a bye.
And I'm sure that information has been passed down to Sahar, so he's got to be ready to pick it up and get going to the wickets to run out Preet Patel. Bat on it, it's hit straight down, it's hit just to the fielder, calls for 2, and Preet definitely wisely sends him back because Preet is the guy that you want on strike in a direct hit out in the deep there. So good arm, good throw.
And I'm glad that they were not looking to take the second run. Preet Patel is the guy who can probably get them over the line. And he confidently turned the second one down.
So here we go, 14 needed off the final 5 deliveries. Preet Patel, who played in minor league, Kiran, who played in minor league. It's a battle of the minor league players here, and we'll see who's going to get the better of it. Again, 14 off of 5. It's definitely doable. Gonna be tough.
It's more or less Florida Beamers against Morrisville Cardinals at this stage, I would say. Oh, bowling really well there, hitting the hard length, unable to get under that one. Preet tried to hit that out of the park. Ball stopping just a little bit, hitting the toe and going one bounce back to Kiran. Now this is getting harder and harder. 14 of 4 deliveries.
And frustration off of Preet. I think he saw that delivery and said, yes, this is my opportunity, and missed out on it. He taps his bat, walks around the stumps just a couple times, and now Kiran coming in. Again, 4 deliveries to come, 14 needed. That was a big shot. Has he found the fielder's hands? He might have found the gap. Oh, and it's been pushed around. No, it's just going to be 2. The throw comes in. Yes, 2 runs, so 12 needed from 3, so needs 3 4s.
Or 2 big 6s. They'll be hoping that this one doesn't go to the boundary.
And if you're Samp Army, that's all you're looking for. If you can get a boundary off this ball, you take some of the pressure off for the next 2.
This ball is not going to decide the fate of this game. They need 12 of 3 deliveries. Irrespective of what happens, the game will still be alive for the last 2 deliveries. And that's what you want. A big shot, but straight to the fielder. Kirk Thompson comes around, quick arm, returns that one back to the bowler. Kiran collects it calmly, looks at the batsman who are having more of a mid-pitch conference, comes back and takes the bails off for another wicket. But as I said, this game is still not over. They now need 11 of 2 balls. 2 big 6s would get them over the line. A boundary and a 6 will put this game into a super over.
And I'm just astonished here if you're Shikhar. I think you have to understand your obligation now. He almost tried to turn Preet down for that too. No. You are here to run around. You have to understand that, and you've got to get back across, right? I know that you think you can go and play, but Preet's the one who's been in the middle. He's the one, and you have to understand, yes, I may think I can do it, but Preet is the guy. Let me go back for 2. And had he really attempted it, there was a fumble by Kiran that could have resulted in at least a close opportunity.
Yeah, I think it all started with the fact that the 2 batsmen did not even go and talk to each other before that ball. At this stage of the innings, you would expect the batsmen to come and talk to each other after every ball. What's plan A? What's plan B? Who needs to be on strike? Who can hit those big 6s and 4s? Talk about them and then execute. Neither of those happened, and the result was a wicket. But again, coming back to the drama, 2 deliveries left, 11 runs to win. The right batsman is on strike for Samp Army. Kiran running in.
Is he the right bowler? First one, and he is the right bowler. They're not even going to take one. Hit straight to the fielder, and that pretty much sums it up there. That is it. There's going to be 1 ball to go, but it's not going to matter. The Stars, they have clinched this victory.
Unless Kiran bowls a no ball or a wide and keeps them in the game.
Well, we'll see if that does occur, but at the moment it looks like the Stars have a line for the Stars. They're going to walk away with game 1 here for themselves. Game 2 of the tournament. Preet doing some dancing, and he is able to create some innovation, able to move it away for what looks like a 4, and it is going to be 4, but it's just a little too late, and that's going to do it. The Stars, they win by 7 runs there, and the Samp Army, they just come up a little bit short, 6 runs rather, and the Samp Army, they finish their 20 overs, 66 for the loss of 8, and like we said, Stars, they take game 2 of this T10.
What a wonderful advertisement for this tournament. The Stars were absolutely on it, and still only winning by 6 runs. That's just 1 shot. 1 big shot would have made it for the Samp Army, but it wasn't the case. Samp Army scoring 66 in their 10 overs, falling short by 6 runs. John Vijay 4 runs, Sarnam Patel 9, Abdul Hamid 0, Prince Patel 12, Ashish Jain 7, Akash Joshi out for a duck. Varun Papuri hit some brilliant shots out there, 18 of 12. Preet Patel 7 of 5 deliveries. There'll be a lot of thinking about the batting order if they looked at this scorecard. The Samp Army, they'll be hoping to come back strong.
You look at the Stars bowling, I don't think they need to go on the drawing board for much. Nilesh Patil, 2 overs, 17 runs. Hasham Malik, just an over for 6. But the pick of the bowlers, Danish Khan, who had 2 overs, 5 runs, 3 wickets to his name. Anirudh Bolasetti with another good stuff from him too. 2 overs, 10 runs, and 2 wickets. Jaskar Malhotra was the most expensive with an over 13 runs. But Kiran Savarkumar didn't give up much, 2 overs, 15 runs, and a wicket to his name. And that's going to do the Stars. They get it done, and they take match 2. So we appreciate you guys for tuning in here to Church Street Park. Make sure you tune in all week because these T10s will come at you under the lights, bright and shining. There's your match summary. The Stars, again, they win by 6 runs, taking match 2. This is Aman, and I'm signing off for Shwetan as well. Thank you so much, and we'll see you back here for the rest of the T10s.